right, I actually shot this video once, but then I wanted to reshoot it because I kind of came up with some more points since then, and I feel like Chelsea deserve a fair crack at the whip in this one, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge the pressure that must be building around this club at the moment. It's just, how do you release some of that pressure? Well, there are 3 different solutions, and I think we should go through some of them. First of all, Pochettino's post-match comments, they weren't in the press conference, but they were in multiple different TV interviews, and they were in lots of different places in the press now, already doing the viral rounds on social media. Some Chelsea fans are using them to beat him with, saying, hey, you know, if this guy is spineless, do we really want him at the team? Well, guess what? He's probably learned that castigating VAR, saying that you don't agree with referees' decisions, saying that you don't, enjoy the way the referee referees the game or agree with whatever just happened there, doesn't really get you that far. If anything, it turns referees against you. It's another added problem to, by the way, a long problem list already at Chelsea. And on top of that, let's face it, he said the true thing that actually came after it, which was, we knew that Liverpool were good. We knew, essentially, that we were in line for a beating tonight. And essentially what he's saying is, we know where we sit in the table at the moment as Chelsea. We know that we aren't as far ahead as we should be. Now, that's not necessarily him putting it on the players, it's not him putting it on the owners, but I think there's at least some spread responsibility here. Pochettino does, of course, bear a huge amount of responsibility for the way that this Chelsea team play. Of course, I think that low amount of shots compared to Liverpool's amount of shots is not good. It's not damning, because Liverpool have had a massive amount of shots compared to everyone else at Anfield this season, and even away from Anfield this season. But it's not great. Can you explain that? Because Chelsea actually don't currently have a functional strike force. They have, by the way, through the middle of this evening, was Sterling, Cole Palmer, Madueke, and most further forward with Sterling and Cole Palmer was Conor Gallagher. Now, I get it, that might have scared people in the past, but the shapes that Chelsea make, they're not making goals for Raheem Sterling. They're not making goals for Raheem Sterling, because guess what? Raheem Sterling has scored loads of goals in his career, but he's not done it from those positions that they get him into. Cole Palmer has scored some incredible goals, but relying on a young man to consistently create chances from a very high level is unfair on him. Madueke was just completely isolated out on that wing. Liverpool could just pick him off. And, the only great opportunities came from Chelsea going through the middle, driving at Liverpool, at times overloading the middle with someone like Conor Gallagher. So sure, Poch has told Gallagher to do something quite important there, and maybe it comes off. Maybe if VAR is on the ball tonight, and maybe if VAR does give at least one of these penalty decisions, the game is different. Maybe Liverpool still go on and storm the game. Maybe it is still 4-2 or 4-3, and ultimately Pochettino's damning comments, which, by the way, are true, Liverpool were the much better side this evening, bear some fruit in the end, because actually maybe you should heed what a manager says to you. Maybe when a manager is so sick of seeing the same situations over and over and over again, and knows that there should be a striker coming in, the situation should be alleviated, then he can be honest about his position. Also, if he's safe in his position, he should be able to make these kind of comments, but weirdly, people are going to relate it to him not being safe in his position. On top of that, the midfield, that is a better midfield than we currently see it being. If we're looking at Caicedo, he's currently sitting as basically a 4th defender, because I think Madueke was more like a winger. Chilwell barely provided anything tonight for Chelsea, really wasn't the fullback or wing-back that you want him to be, but then maybe he wasn't being asked to be so by Poch. Although, I've got to admit, their fullbacks were much more impactful on the game, should we say, earlier in the season against Liverpool, when Liverpool drew 1-1, and Poch seemed to have a bit more of a grip on this side. I'd be interested to know, by the way, if Poch is able to make these comments, because A, he knows he can get rid of some of these guys, which I think some of them probably already know they're on the way out. A, because of the financial rules that now surround the Premier League and teams like Chelsea. B, possibly some sanctions that they might have to adhere to. And C, the fact that I think there are going to be some players in there looking at it and going, maybe my life cycle here is done. Maybe I need to go on and win some trophies somewhere else. Maybe I need to go away and do something which is going to change my career rather than waiting for Chelsea to do so. Even if the contract is long, even if I'm on great wages here, realistically, am I going to be in the international squad come the Euros or whatever international tournament is there? Realistically, am I going to be progressing the boot deal that I need or the, whatever it is? if I'm at Chelsea, who are consistently now a mid-table team, they've not broken 8th or 9th this season. I'm consistently sat behind Manchester United, someone who's having a terrible season. Brighton having a mid-season. A number of teams who they just should not be sitting behind, given the value within the squad, but also the lack of structured investment. Great midfield, a rebuild of a defence, not a goalkeeper that you want, who's able to bring what you want for the price that you want, and no strikers. I get it, Armando Broja, good player, but if you're floating out on the market that you want a whole load of money for him, you're trying to move him on anyway, you're offering him to other Premier League sides, other Premier League sides being told there are exorbitant amounts of money that they need to pay for him anyway, and then on the other side of that, that's going to be absolutely just eating away at his confidence. What then? And by the way, that is the situation that Chelsea have created for themselves. It is a situation that the way that they have chosen to invest, risk on this squad, whatever it is basically that they need to sell to then buy. Not that they are the only ones in that boat, but it's kind of ridiculous given the amount of money that they've spent in the even just post-Abramovich era, not even acknowledging the money that they flushed down the drain towards the end of the Abramovich era. Let's not forget that. But on top of that, here's the kicker, right? Not all of this is down to Todd Boehly. Todd Boehly probably understands that over the last few years, the financial impact of what the club has been through is still going to be felt into the next financial cycle. It's still going to be felt in the years to come. Because guess what? What Roman Abramovich did was not set the club up with a stable, ongoing plan that he could, leave for the next 10 years. It was something which ultimately, we don't know the ins and outs details of, wasn't sustainable for Chelsea. Wasn't something that you would look at and go, that is going to see us into the future for the next couple of years. Just be realistic about it. He's gone now. You've still got the trophies. You still celebrated them. But there may be sanctions coming because of that. And it's not that Chelsea fans deserve it. It's not that Chelsea deserve it. It's not that Poch deserves it. It's not that the squad deserve it. It's that really the Premier League hasn't given the buffers that teams need to stop them wandering into these kind of areas. So they don't have a striker. Not only because of the poor investment from Todd Boehly, but because of previous investment in previous eras, which is now not paying dividends. Because there were a whole load of young people in their academy who should have been doing better. Because yes, Victor Osimhen would be fantastic, but given the amount of money that they spent, should they not have more choices up front than a sub of Nkunku or Armando Broja or Madueke scoring? Or Cole Palmer pulls out something brilliant? Or no system? You get what I'm saying here. Nkunku looked good when he came on tonight. Is he the guy you're going to build around for the next couple of seasons? Not exclusively. Is he a good player? Yes. Should you be building with him? Yes. But exclusively building around someone like him to score goals? Probably not. Frankly. So I get the frustration from the Chelsea fans. And I get some of the blowback that they're currently getting as a Chelsea squad. I feel sorry for Poch. Do I think he could be better because of what we've seen Postecoglou do, who, by the way, has a slightly more suited squad to maybe what he wants to achieve? Maybe he's better at coaching off the bat. Maybe Poch's culture or the other bigger ideas that he wants to focus on, because Chelsea's goals are slightly different and Chelsea are a slightly different tanker to turn because they've been so much bigger in the past. That is something to factor in, but it doesn't mean they should be here. It stinks of opportunity squandered. And I know that's going to annoy some Chelsea fans, but guys, I'm kind of with you on this. What is it that you need to do to turn things around? Is it just as simple as a striker? Or is it as simple as, actually, we need to move this squad on already? Oh, you can't do that. Jeez. Cannot do that. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. Appreciate you. I will be doing more Chelsea videos in the very near future. Much love. Bye.